Have you ever questioned everything you ever learned until now? You are not alone. Welcome to Mystical Mavericks, a tribe that embraces your uniqueness and superpower. Discover how you can access your innate gifts and create a reality of fulfillment, purpose, and passion. Are you ready to go within to win? Discover the keys to success on The Mystical Maverick Show.
Bonjour and welcome, Mystical Mavericks. I am beyond blessed for this coming episode, for this here and now, because not only our guest had discovered the keys of true happiness and success beyond transaction. And I am very, very excited to introduce you to the CEO and founder of Natierra and Monsieur Thierry Ollivier, and a little bit about Mr. Thierry Ollivier. In 2002, Ollivier launched Brainstorm Inc., pioneering the US superfood category introduction of sacred pink salt, yum yum, from the Himalayas, and the goji, is how you pronounce goji, yes, goji berries, that quickly evolved into household brands known around the world. As Olivier's search for superfoods, not commonly known in the US, took him around the world, he was drawn to people, cultures, and practices of the countries he visited, guiding him on a journey of caring and nurturing these relationships. These experiences set him on the path of ethical sourcing and caring for the soul. Hence, the business mission of Brainstorm, selling superfood with soul, which led to the creation of Natierra's Feed a Soul program. Welcome, Monsieur Thierry Ollivier. How exciting I am and we are for you to share your wisdom, your journey, your story with us in a discovery of success through your entrepreneurship. How are you, my dear friend?
I'm great. Thank you very much for having me today. And thank you, Juju, for this great introduction. And I'm very thrilled to be with you guys this morning. And it's an honor to be with you.
Yes, the honor is for sure. And so tell us a little bit about, brush through it, your background and where you come from, and perhaps how did you grow up a little bit that brought you into your path of entrepreneurship?
Yeah, I, as you can tell from my accent, I'm not from Paris, Texas, but I'm from Paris, France, and born and raised there, and we have that in common. We do among other things.
Yes.
We have the French accent, but born and raised in France. I've been in the United States for 28 years now. Came into the US very early after a business school that I did in France. But I really, discovered the United States. That was unknown to me, and I just have always loved the United States and had this American dream in mind. And I was very fortunate to experience this American dream. I started, in Los Angeles. I had no visa, no immigration status. I was doing 5 jobs at a time. I sold cars, I bussed tables. I mean, you name it, I've done it all. Just to make a living in Los Angeles, and pretty similar to what you've done, Juju. I know that you had a similar journey. So that was my journey into Los Angeles early on, and then I was fortunate some people, helped me to get, a foot in the door. And once I had the foot in the door, that was through the food industry.
Mm.
And from there, I really experienced the American dream very early on. I was very young and, started my career, travel throughout the entire United States and learn a job, learn an industry. And I've done that for 5 years and grew, with the company I was with, and then started my own. And then that's when my other journey started, where, starting your own business is a whole different story than working for someone else. And I just did that because I felt it, and I wanted to grow out of where I was before. And so I started my business. I had no idea what I was doing really, or raising capital and everything was not something could think of. So I literally started with my credit cards, and everything I was buying I had to buy for the next purchase. And so I was really, we're in a small office. We were picking up doors on the sidewalk, so that could become a desk. And that's really how we started. So I didn't start in the garage, but not far away from that. And that's how I started Natierra. And then I looked for products that were very unique and different. And this is started traveling and sourcing product, and I found the Himalayan pink salt at the time. And the Himalayan theme really appealed to American consumer. They really liked it. And then I looked for other product on the same theme. This is what I did, and discovered the goji berries. And before we knew it, goji berries was a big hit, and we actually co-pioneered, I would say, with other brands, the superfood category.
Mm.
And superfood, so everybody knows what that means. The definition of superfood is nutrient density. So any product that is dense in nutrient is a superfood technically. And so, but the category did not exist at the time. So we kind of co-pioneered with people from the acai world, the goji berries, and other antioxidant and strong superfood products. And then I continued to travel throughout the world, and I must say I had the best job because it took me to many places, Tibet, the Amazon rainforest, everywhere. And my goal was really to bring unique and innovative product to the US market. And, there's so many, I mean, it's a wealth of products that you can find, whether it's in the Himalayas, whether it's in the rainforest, that are totally unknown to us, Americans or Europeans for that matter. But it's, you're dealing with communities on site, with farmers, and you meet them. This is their product. This is the things they grow, that they care for, that they love. And so then you have a duty to share that passion with the rest of the world. And then you also sell a product that is very different, that is very unique, and brings something different to your body and your health, because it's a very healthy product. So in a nutshell, that's how I started the business. And it took me to travel throughout the world, meet tons of farmers and communities that are, working very carefully with their product, trying to grow it and put so much love into it. And so that's how we started Natierra, and took us the journey today.
In Natierra, the brand itself is from you discovered that name, or how did you manage to come up with
yes.
Natierra? Because it's very catchy, it's very beautiful, and actually, to be quite honest, I am one of your big customer, and I have right here, see, and I am obsessed. My kids are obsessed from this plant-based, absolutely incredible, phenomenal snack that we sure need in the West. And this one is the organic strawberries, and is Natierra superfoods with soul. Now you understand why Thierry is in the show. And that really is incredible. It's very powerful. And so how did you come up with the brand?
So the brand, we were looking for a name that was that would express really what we care for, which is nature and earth. That was, You have tierra in Spanish is actually the land, and so the goal was really to create, this is nature and earth combined in one product, and so that's how we came up with Natierra, and we own obviously this trademark for many years now, and we, you're talking about superfood with soul is something that really makes a difference about our company and our team members. It's not so much what you do, is why you do it, and our why is really our soul in our business and with our team members within our company. Is there's a lot of people who are doing fantastic business, that buy a product from point A and bring it to point B and sell it. But I think the most important thing is why you're doing it, and the why behind your product. I think it's something very important and behind the brand. And so we tend to put, I know that for a lot of business, it's sad but true, the word love is not used that often. Love is all over our office, is all over our journey. This is we use the word love all the time, and so we have a soul, and all our team members really have a soul, and that's why they work for the company. That's why they work for the brand and what they do. And so superfood with soul is almost like superfood with love, because what we do in every aspect of our business is about love. I'm part of a movement called Conscious Capitalism, where we basically have a respect of all the stakeholders throughout our journey in business. And so for us, it's we treat equally all our stakeholders, whether you are a shareholder or you are a customer or you are a team members or you are a suppliers. We want to treat everybody equally, because first, out of respect, because at the end of the day, we're all human beings, and we're all equal human beings, no matter what we do in the world. And so as such, we need to have a mutual respect for all of them. And one is not better than the other. And I think we need to respect people equally, because I often say that, for instance, our team members is a key element of our business, because without them, we would not be where we are. The product would not be sold. We would not be able to provide an incredible, healthy product to our consumers, and then our shareholder would not get all of this. So it's very a circle, where everybody brings something. It's a win-win-win-win-win, where everybody is contributing, and so as such, this is why we treat equally all our stakeholders, and not shareholders. Really, stakeholders is really our business model. So we try to lead with love, in all the decision and we make in the business. That's something that we really are passionate about. And often when I'm trying to fix a problem or see with individuals, whatever stakeholder they are, I always think that, okay, what decision would I make if it was for my own family, if it was my son, if it was my wife, if it was, because at the end of the day, all these stakeholders, whether they're customers, they're team members, suppliers, they all have families, they all have kids, and so as such, we need to respect each other. It doesn't matter who you are in the society and what you do for the society. So we're all human beings.
I'm not sure what to add or to say at this point. I hope that you that is listening, I'm talking about not hearing, I'm talking about listening. In the word silent, in the word listen is same word. And I'm really hoping and trust that if you are listening to Thierry right now, right here, that you are going to be injected with this truth in leadership, in wisdom, in culture, in compassion. And the key that he just revealed very beautifully with honesty, the key to success in building a culture around love, equanimity, compassion, love, gratitude, and heart-based conscious capitalism, as he said. And so if you're hearing him and this, I hope it affects you directly into your heart, and that you also choose to lead with mutual respect that everyone you work with, as if when you make a decision, it was you, it was for your own family. And this, he revealed, that was the key to his success, which I believe is the key to success. So this truth, this wisdom, leads, in my belief, to enlightenment itself, in that you can share more about this, how it transition, and how this raising your consciousness in business, also how you overcame, you know, a lot of us and a lot of you are listening to Thierry, you also either had to overcome or now try to overcome a challenge, a place that maybe you are in a challenge, dark place in your life. And I'm saying that also perhaps he would be able to share some of his challenges, how he overcame dark places, and that he found the light, that he transcended in his own battle in his own mind. And by this was perhaps even a blessing. So, you know, Thierry, how most people would say this is happening to me. But somehow you find the light, you find the strength, you find the spirit to turn mind into heart, and knew that things were happening not to you, but for you, perhaps. Perhaps you can share, but if you want, if you like, you don't have to share any names, any detail of it, but just so that we can understand how it's possible that a human being and a business owner, a CEO of a business, can transcend such a dark place, suffering, into helping others and find liberation. In your own words, in your own time, maybe in silence yourself. I'm not sure. If you don't want to share, it's okay too. But there's so many people who are suffering in the world and trying to make it into a business or a career or fulfill their purpose. And they're simply stuck and paralyzed from fear.
There's it's a loaded question and answer therefore, but it, you know, in my experience, I went through personal tragedy where, you know, 6 years ago we lost our youngest daughter at 2.5 years old, and that obviously had a huge impact on my personal life, obviously also on the business, because if I'm not well, the business, or if the leadership is not well, the business is also having difficulties. So I'm putting that on the table because this is a big element of my life, and that just confirmed to me and made me switch, thinking that at the time we were working on a project where we were going to feed children using our business, and we were going to feed children in Haiti. And you know, I discovered that some kids were eating dirt there, and I wanted to switch and say, okay, we need to help. And so we were putting that program together, and 2 days before we launched our program, our daughter passed away. So that only confirmed that I was on the right path, and that was the thing that, you know, strangely, I was going to take care of kids and at the same time, my daughter passed away. That just allowed me to think that I was on the right path and I was doing the right thing. And I think that really gave me strength to continue and to move forward. And then through that, we were able to provide millions of meals to children thanks to our business and the initiative we started. But I think this is an important element of the beginning of my journey towards enlightenment, because you're faced with your personal situation, then the business, you go through phases, and sometimes the business is doing well, and sometimes we all went through the COVID time where we were all afraid, concerned to lose our business and so forth. We had people sick, we had people die. It was very complicated. And then 2021, the cost increases of so many things, and then your margin goes down, and then you're stuck into this thing where it's an endless circle, and you feel that it continues to eat you alive, because this is your business and you care for it. You care for your team member, you care for your own family, you care for yourself, and then you start worrying, and this worry eats you alive. You think about all those things, and what about if, and it's like what if COVID is the end of the world? What if you're going to get sick? And what about if your loved one, your family, your team members, are going to get sick? All of this is really putting a lot of stress, and you're working in a fear environment. And this fear environment is very stressful for entrepreneurs and leaders in this world. But at some point, I was taught, or I realized, or both actually, the importance of living in the present. Given my past experience, personal experience with my family and the tragedy we went through, I had a tendency to look at the past a lot and spend a lot of time in the past. And then worrying about the future, what the future is going to entail, what are the risks, what are the fear factor that could happen in the future. So you're stuck between living the past for some reason, whether it's good or bad, but the fact you spend too much time on the past, there's nothing you can do about the past anymore. And again, I don't want to paraphrase people that I love that taught me all of this, but the past is the past. It's behind you. There's nothing you can do about it. You cannot change it. The future, you don't have any control over the future. And you don't need to worry about it. I mean, you can, but it's not going to help you to worry about it. So the only thing you can think about is the present, and leave the present. And in my example is, for instance, if I know that if I worry too much about the future, I'm not going to spend enough time caring about my own family and my own children. Today, I still have 2 boys that I love, I adore, and I need to spend more time with them, with my family. But me worrying about the future and then being drained by the possible outcome of the future, which I don't have control over, is actually spoiling my present. And so I made the decision, not that long ago for that matter, to really leave the present, and let the future happen and become the present when time comes. There's I often say to my team members, or whomever wants to hear it, is let's wait to have the problem to fix them. And let's not try to fix the problem before you have the problem. And it's true that, it could be very anxious to think about the future, about the things that could happen. We're today in AI technology, which it could be as exciting as, very scary for some people. We don't know what the outcome's going to be, and nobody really knows. And maybe AI knows, but we don't. So the truth is, I think personally, I feel that for now, we need to use it to the best of our ability and enjoy it as much as we can, and then see what the future will entail. We cannot plan the future anyhow, so we need to focus on what we have today. So back to the enlightenment and the impact of my life. Very recently, and really, I don't want to show up like it's been like this forever, but I realized that I'm actually happier thinking about the present and not so much about the future. And now I've worked on myself to try not to worry. And I know it's really difficult. I'm someone very anxious. That's who I am. But I'm trying to take some distance with the problem, because the truth is, as I was saying earlier, we are human beings. And the wealth should not be just money, and the wealth should be our internal peace and who we are and who we care, what we do, and who we love. And so I feel we should spend a lot of time on this and really try to keep your worry aside, because the only thing it does is spoil your present. And you'll deal with it tomorrow. It's not the problem. If there's a problem coming, it will be there, but you won't be able to fix it now anyhow. So you might as well spend the time you have in the present and enjoy it. And then you never know what can happen tomorrow. It could be another COVID. It could be the end of the world. It could be a nuclear war. It could be whatever. We don't have control over it. So, it really changed my life, and even my family is like, what happened? I mean, you're more present. And God forbid, I have tons of problems. So it's not that I don't have any problems anymore. It's just that I put them aside and I try to enjoy the present time, because when it's really doing things mindfully, and it's something really hard, because meditation is you're doing nothing and the goal is to do nothing. Doing things mindfully is almost as difficult, because it's like, if you brush your teeth mindfully, that means you're going to spend a lot of time putting the toothpaste on your brush. Then you're going to enjoy, or try to enjoy, brushing your teeth. And just that alone is very hard work to do, as simple as it could be. And that work, the reason I'm saying this is because it's the same thing with loving people and your loved one, your family. When you say to your wife or your husband or your partner that you love him or her, you need to really mean it. You need to be present. You need to be here and really think about it, and not thinking, okay, I have a problem in the past. I'm saying I love you, but I don't really spend enough time thinking about it. And it's almost like really enjoying the present time and being present in the life that you live in. This is a long response with my experience.
It's long. It's not long. It's music to anyone who's listening. It's music to the soul. What you shared was in fact pure silence, because it never came from your mind. What you shared, it never came from your mind. It was pure divine silence. What you shared is beyond any mind, any intellect, any words. What you did was satsang. What you conducted here and now was satsang, which is association with truth. and you capted, and almost now in your life, I see you have invoking the guru within, the Buddha consciousness. And that, my friend, my dear friend, it is very acceptable to speak. And I believe this is enlightenment, which is a word that can be enlightenment. It can be, say, God. It can be, say, pure happiness. It can be said as Atman or Ananda, the Satchitananda. Not Samadhi, because Samadhi is a state of consciousness that ends and begins, being entranced in Samadhi. Enlightenment is permanent because it is what you are right here, right now, in your enlightenment, which is your pure beingness as you are, and removed as you did all the concealment, all the conditions were removed by your own grace, by your own self itself. So what you shared, it's a show on its own, because very few people will be able to understand, because this is not the wisdom you shared. It is not possibly to understand with the mind. So if you're listening to this, I will go back and listen to this again and again and again, in closing your eyes and quietly, like you are being fed by Divine Mother. This is what I want you to do when you listen to this, because this is transmission to raise your own consciousness, and it will tap into your own self. So this is enlightenment, dear friend. This is enlightenment. It doesn't mean that now you don't have problems in your life, or anyone else has problem or no problem. It don't affect the self. It doesn't affect the nature of what you are, which is bliss itself and divinity and holiness. And this is, in my humble opinion, the key to real success. So what you shared, it is premium, is purpose that, if we understand this correctly, anybody who comes in business, it does business transactional, but must involve into heart space, then continue the journey to sacred journey of happiness in their own existence. And to understand this is not possible. You must experience things first, in experience it, perhaps even read books, practice, then the practice, perhaps the practice of meditation, which is not a practice, but whatever you practice will lead you that one day, like Thierry said, do nothing, accept as it is, be as you are, and all is always blessed. All is always here and now. It is what you are. And so whatever you choose to do, whether it is books reading, yoga practices, or this or the other, you will realize in one time, maybe not this life, but you will ascend to realize that the teachings is not even true, that you must continue to investigate and to realize what you are, and asking, what am I? Who am I? Which Thierry very well affirmed that this is how he found his peace. And so, talking about meditation, Thierry, have you heard of BrainTap technology?
Yes, that's very interesting. It's almost like the workout of the brain. I really like that.
Yes, it's so cool that you mentioned the workout of the brain. And the BrainTap technology, I have it right here. It's a headset. It's a headset that comes in the app and is global. And Dr. Patrick Porter, who's also a dear friend of mine, is now also the sponsor of the Mystical Maverick podcast, because it's such a great combination when you feel as an entrepreneur or an athlete or a creator or an artist. It really doesn't matter what you do, but if you have something that you want to create, for instance, or build a business, or you want to achieve a certain status, or even as an athlete, for instance, because he works with top athletes in the world, you could potentially use BrainTap to enlighten the brain cells, so your brain is now more active and perfectly tuned in, like nature itself, to perform your task. You're performing your task. So BrainTap is a technology that will lead you to that, which is the focus and the internal attention, the brain and heart. So it's the link of brain and the heart. So if you want to know more about BrainTap, I think they do have a timing that is a free timing where you can test it for yourself. You can go to braintap.com, but also go to my own link as well. I think it's part of the, it's in the description of the podcast. And if you decide to do that, it's good for you, and share it with others, or connect with us as well if you decide. It's something that would profoundly help you to stay in tune and to unlock your brain potential. So meditation is a device. It's a device, and is also a science. And it will come a point, Thierry, like you discovered that by yourself, that doing nothing is sometime, and a lot of time, doing everything.
Absolutely. It's and the thing is, you need to pause, and I know it's really hard, you know, when you are an entrepreneur, you're, you know, leading company, team members and everything, you need to be able to pause and just be present. You know, it's the most important thing, is really being present. And it's hard to disconnect, you know, the future from the present, and to be just in the present, and live with it, and let it say and sit. And you know, the truth is, you need to remind yourself that you're doing everything you can. You are the best at what you do, and you're doing everything you can to make it work. And so under this assumption, you've done everything you can for the future. And so you need to, the future will not change based on, if you've done everything you think is best, the future would still be the same, you know, that, you know, when you'd be there. So be doing the best while you're present is the most important thing, I think.
Oh, beautiful. Wow. So how did now, knowing what you know, knowing this truth of this peace and this happiness within, when you went going within to win, you know, how does this now channel into your everything you do? Your even the relationship around you, the people around you, and how did it translate into the leadership in your business, the culture? Does that change a little bit, or is it a different vibe now, or that you have found this peace, this awareness, this intuition?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, no matter what, I feel, and again, this is very personal, but I feel a lot stronger because I don't have the burden of the future anymore. It's like, okay, there's a future, we don't control it, we don't know what's gonna be, and yeah, we can make tons of scenarios, different A, B, C, D, but we don't have control over it. You know, we know that tomorrow we can cross the street and it's going to be a whole different future than the one you think. And as such, you need to be present right here, right now. Because for what you think about the future could be 100 times different for a bunch of other reasons that you don't have control over. So the thing that you have control over is on yourself and making sure that when you arrive in the future, you've done everything the best you can to be prepared for the future. So being present, doing things now, I think, and most importantly, I think I personally think that the fact that we are human beings, and at the end of the day, people think or are telling us or expect us to make X amount of money or X amount of wealth or X amount of things. But at the end of the day, this is an influence or a perception that people have. But the real truth is, where do we as a person, as a human being, where do we want to be? Where would be our success? As a matter of fact, I was thinking about it, talking with friends a couple of days ago, and the most important thing is, what do we want to be remembered for in the future? What is it? Because we work more or a lot, or I think the fulfillment is really what we achieve personally, and the people, whether family, friends, that we spend together. I think that's really the wealth, and money, should not be just the driver. And again, I love money, so it's not the topic. I'm not planning on not making money, but I think the real wealth is, I feel that when a problem can be fixed with money, it's not a problem. The real problems are the problems that you cannot fix with money. Again, this is personal, but in my experience.
No, it's not just personal. This is the truth coming out of this being enlightened being itself. This is the truth, what you speak about. You must speak it, no doubt, and even write a book about it. This is no doubt. Now, I think you know what I'm talking about. Maybe when everyone in entrepreneurship has this goal, I'm going to have this business and this goal, like you had this business and this goal, and perhaps now you realized in this self-actualization, you self-actualized yourself, that perhaps there is also a purpose within the purpose. Maybe share, because a lot of time we get stuck in the goal, we get stuck in the intention. And us, it's very good. You got to get those goals going. You got to set intentions and expectations and clear expectations. But it's important not to get stuck. Because perhaps the universe, creator, God, Mother Nature, whatever you want to call it, the name, has a different purpose for you. So when we get stuck, we get blind.
I'm 50 years old now, and whether it's probably half of my time on Earth or in the business world, and so I think I've spent the first half of my life probably a lot more selfish that I maybe should have done or done different. But anyway, I'm not gonna rewrite the past. The past is what it is. I was driven by things, growth, personal growth, family growth, business growth, you name it. And so I think I've learned a lot of things over my first half of my life, and I think now is almost time for me to spend the second half of my life helping others and using what I've learned for a better cause that is not necessarily uh, financial retribution or rewards or anything, which I've done okay so far. So, it's okay. But I think being fulfilled by purpose uh, for the second half of my life is probably something I want to do. I'm still searching for it. I have some directions which I think would I would go towards, but it clearly thinking that now I can change the life of others who what I've learned in my first half of my life would be very rewarding and fulfilling. And I'm not saying that money is not involved. It's not about money. It's really about what we achieve. And because we have a family foundation after our daughter passed away, and we've done a lot of things working with children throughout the world, I've already experienced the huge reward that we get when we give. Because when we give to people, you actually receiving so much more than you give. So that's very fulfilling and comforting zone where each time you give, you receive, and it's almost to the point that giving becomes very selfish because ultimately you receive so much in exchange, um, that it's overwhelming, and it's almost like the dopamine when you do some sports or workouts. You continue doing it because you have this dopamine that is created in your body. And it's the same thing with giving and serving others or helping others. You're receiving so much while you do that I think it becomes almost a drug where it fills you with joy, and you can do more. So I think the next chapter of my life, whether I continue what I do business wise or not, is going to be really to help and be of assistance to other, for them to be fulfilled, for them to be helped, and to maybe increase their life or help their conditions, about being human beings. Just I don't know. That's so it's still in the works. It's still in my mind, and I'm still thinking about it. I'm trying to get advice from the right people to do that. Some people are pushing me or putting seeds in my brain for that. I won't give out. I know I won't give out names, but anyway, so yeah, this is definitely something, if through my experience or what I've experienced in business or in life, sadly I've experienced a lot of things in life that today made me a better person, regardless of the challenge that we went through. And so if I can help other or put some light or show the light to people that needs to see the light, I'd be happy to contribute. I'm not a priest. I'm not any of that, and I don't have this talent or nor this commitment. But if I just can, through my personal journey, impact or change a little bit the life of others in a positive way, I'd be happy to do that. And so that's I think where I think the next chapter of my life will be is first gonna be to experience and continue to experience what I've learned about wisdom, about enlightenment, and see how far I can take it, and if I can contribute to others positively, I'd be happy to do that.
You know, it seems like you're doing it right here, right now. So you're already doing it. You don't even realize you're doing it. And therefore, this is what you do. And you're showing up in your light, and the potential of speaking around the world and sharing your message is very present, is very, it will be very fulfilling to you. And most importantly, this light that you will be able to pay it forward, and is very important um, for you and for the others. There's so many that can be blessed with your story, your wisdom, your light. There is no reason why is this shouldn't happen. In fact, it has to happen. We are declaring this on the show. It must happen. A beautiful book, you sharing your message.
No
And
pressure, no
it
pressure.
will happen. We'll make sure of it, because remember, it's already done. You are not the doer. If you're listening to this, you are also not the doer. If you think you're in control of your life, think again. In fact, don't think. And when you don't think, you realize that you are not the doer. It is something else that make you do things. And it is this higher pure consciousness that you already are. So this wisdom, this show, this investigation between you and me, Thierry, it's been a I have no words, because this thing that we did, this conversation, this connection, this sharing, this love, this blessing, this is like a devotion itself. Do you understand? This makes me very fulfilled right now, right here, because this is, you talk about the why, and you guys go back to your why. You create a product, you create a business, you create even a relationship with God. Even that, go to why. Go back to the why, and don't worry about the how-tos. It is the why that will be anchoring into the crispiness of the reason you're doing something. Go back. If you're lost in your business or your path, go into your why. Even your spiritual path, go to why. Go to the why. He said very well, many times. Why? Why you're doing something is where to go. And he also mentioned and shared, lead with love. Lead with love. Lead with love. As far as decision goes, make a decision, he said, as if it was for your own family, because there is no strangers in the world. You make decision like if it was for your own blood, flesh and blood, and you'll see how prosperous and fulfilled and committed you will be to other people in your life and in your business. When you give, you actually receive more than what you give. He said the wealth is not money. The true wealth is this that has no name. This gift, this surrendering ego. That is the gift, that is the wealth. And it's very much common sense. We already all know this. We might have got lost along the way. And what just caught my attention, you talked about you said, I am not a priest, I am not I am not a teacher. And I'm saying, thank God you are not a teacher. Thank God you are not a priest, because the priests, the teachers, the butchers, they will not lead you to truth. Only your direct knowledge that you shared today cut ignorance. This is what this show is all about. And you raise the bar for everyone else that will come through, because this is why I created this, to make sure that we channel this truth and go straight into the heart of it, and most likely to help and inspire those who are also devoted to something else higher than themselves, you know, that they want to better the world. So where can we find you? How can we help and support your cause? Can you share with us?
Yes, so the company Natierra is Natierra.com is our website where you can have incredible products, you know, snacks and fruits and veggie, organic snacks that Juju's promoting. And then we have and so each of the bag that you buy would provide a meal to a child in need throughout the world. And then we have taken this program and put it into a foundation called Tierra's Angels. Tierra, the land, earth, and angels, and .org, and you'll be able to see our story and the work we try to do, whether it's in Haiti, we do some work in Peru as well, where we help families get free healthcare so they can go and see a doctor and get the medical needs that feel, you know, with the medical needs they have. And then finally, we also do some work here in Watts in Los Angeles, where we try to do some gang prevention and help to take the kids out of the gangs, which is a real problem here in the US and particularly here in Los Angeles. And, you know, those guys are just 10 minutes away from my house. And, you know, people forget, you know, that poverty and people in need could be also very close by your house. And so that's what we try to do here.
So we can go to natierra.com and the website.
Yes.
It's directed to donation or buy a product.
So yeah, if you buy a product, the donation would be made automatically. So that's something that's our company is giving back to the foundation. And so our foundation is tierrasangels.org, and you can go online and check it out. And there you can make donations for any of the program we have, whether it's in Haiti, in Peru, or in Watts here in Los Angeles. And everything's explained on the website.
And perhaps even if people feel that they want to serve in certain ways, can they serve you as well and things like that?
Yeah, yes, we do that. Mainly locally, we you know, for Christmas we do a toy drive and we go give out toys in Watts. So we always need volunteers to do that.
Okay.
We do the same thing at Thanksgiving, where we provide turkeys and food for families in Watts, and we're very busy during Thanksgiving. We prepare food, we bring it to them, and it's a very emotional time for all our angels that comes and help us. And it's, again, this is very, very fulfilling because you know, you're receiving so much while you're giving out food to people that really need our help. And you know, it's, if we can put a little bit of light and a smile on their face during those times, it's an incredible experience.
Wow. For those who are listening, please feel free to catch up with us on the Facebook community tribe and Kula, Community of the Heart of the Mystical Mavericks. Simply go on Facebooks and type Mystical Mavericks for the group and come into family, and we'll share more wisdom, and we will be happy to meet you and to connect and to know you as well. And of course, we have an Instagram that is Juju Mystical. And we have this podcast, which I suggest that you really tap into this, and that will potentially unlock you and free you from your doubts and fears so you can excel and elevate in body, mind, and soul. And Thierry, thank you, because your persona is beyond the person. It is your light. Your words is pure food to a nectar to soul. It nourishes me today. So selfishly, this is why I'm trying to hang in a little bit more. It nourished me. It nourished me. And it nourished others. And you are going to continue to nourish many souls that will be coming to you for this light, wisdom, words, compassion, and direct knowledge, heart to heart.
You have just listened to another enlightening episode of Mystical Mavericks. Please visit mysticalmavericks.com for additional resources and to learn more about our mentorship, giveaways, and gatherings. Be sure to subscribe and share so you don't miss the next episode of Mystical Mavericks.